Hi there, it's Andy again. So, I didn't really know what direction I was going to go with these videos, but then a friend came along and suggested that we read a book together called The Road Back to You by Ian Morgan Cron and Suzanne Stabile. And it's all about a personality typing system called the Enneagram. So, I was a bit skeptical of it because I thought it looked kind of like hippy dippy mumbo jumbo, and I I wasn't sure it was going to work for me. But when I started to read it and saw the approach that they took to it, I warmed to it because they said this isn't about putting you in a box. It's helped us. If it doesn't help you or work for you, don't worry about it. That's okay. But we found it helpful and we think it can help others. And I warmed to that because I don't like people kind of laying a law down to me and saying, this is the way you need to do it, my way or the highway. Some within me resists that. So when I started to read through it, there were about 3 or 4 different types. There's 9 different personality types in this system, and I related to 3 or 4 different ones. But then I went and did a test, and it came back as a type 9, and I started to read the chapter in that. And one of the things it says in that chapter is that type 9s can see themselves as lots of other types. So that was really funny and kind of accurate, and it surprised me because there's a Walt Whitman poem in which he says, do I contradict myself? Then I contradict myself. I am multitudes. And I've always liked that, and I didn't understand why, and now I do, because 9s can see things from lots of different points of view and blend in with other people. So that was interesting. So I'm really starting to focus on this and going to try to think about the things that it says that 9s are good at and work towards developing those strengths and start to focus on working on the things that I'm not so good at. So I'm just going to sort of pick out a couple of bits in the chapter about 9s and just kind of say why it resonates with me and things like that. So again, like the last video, this is going to be a bit kind of off the cuff. Camera might be a bit shaky, but that's the way this is going to be at the start until I get better at it and better equipment and things. So bear with. So I like the start of what it said. If I'm really in the best place and being who I really can be, it says that I would be a natural mediator. I can see and value the perspective of other people and can harmonise what seem to be irreconcilable points of view. I can be unselfish, flexible, and inclusive. I can be someone who is seldom attached. Sorry about this. This is what happens when you trying to read an ebook while you're recording a video at the same time. Yeah, these 9s are seldom attached to their own way of seeing and doing things. They've learned to make decisions based on the right priorities, and they're inspiring, self-actualized people. I really like the idea of being able to inspire others. So, one of the things that I've highlighted here is it says, when our personalities are on autopilot, they lull us into a half-sleeping state in which we find ourselves trapped in the same habitual, repetitious patterns of mindless reactivity we've been caught up since childhood. It's predictable to the point of hypnotic. Nines suffer from a more aggressive form of somnambulism than other numbers. If they're not careful, they can sleepwalk through life. And I really relate to that. So since university, I've just kind of gone from job to job, followed the path of least resistance, and listened to what other people thought was best for me, rather than being decisive and um, following what I thought was best. And you know, if it didn't work out, so what? At least I would have been following my own path. Another thing it says, when nines are spiritually mature, they're chill, easygoing people who know how to relax and go with the flow of life. Adaptable and even tempered, they don't sweat the small stuff like so many of us. They're Gore-Tex, not Velcro. The least controlling number on the Enneagram, nines allow life to unfold naturally, and they offer others the freedom and space to grow in their own time and way. They're quick to love, slow to judge, and rarely ask to be recognised for the effort they put into caring for other people. They're free and easy, down to earth, practical people who are eminently likeable. And I can relate to those things at my best. I do think I am like that. But it says as well, when overwhelmed with too many things to do, too many decisions to make, or the upsetting prospect of change, nines can slow to a crawl. If they come to a full stop, they know it might take a lot of energy to get themselves going again. And I can relate to that. So it also says, though, that immature nines don't fully connect to the fire in their belly, which they need to chase after their God given life, and as a result, fail to become their own person. And I definitely think that's been part of why I've ended up getting into depression and anxiety. And it describes my deadly sin as sloth, but I would characterize it more as inertia, complacency, that kind of thing. Settling for second best, just settling for whatever's here, right here and right now, and not working towards what you really, truly want in life. It says nines are out of touch with their gut and never express their anger. Nines are out of touch with the good side of anger, the part that inspires, drives change, moves things along, and gives them the courage to stand up for themselves. When you're unplugged from this side of anger, you become lethargic and dreamy. And I definitely need to work on assertiveness, because if I don't speak up and challenge things in the moment, I end up totally overthinking it the following day and start to seethe with rage about it. And it totally robs me of my peace, and I can see that it doesn't work. So one big challenge for me this year is going to be to practice that and realize that if I lose people because of conflict, it's better to lose them and hold on to somebody who doesn't really value you. It says nines fear that expressing their preferences or asserting their agenda will put important relationships at risk and upset the calm surface of their inner sea. And again, I can really relate to that. One thing that is very inspiring in the chapter is it says, nines should take heart. They're more courageous and resourceful than they know. Remember in the Enneagram, any number's blight is merely a distortion of that number's blessing. So that is cool. So then, just to skip towards the end, these are the things I'm going to have to work on this year. I suppose to summarise it, the two things really would be being more assertive and learning to prioritise, and learn to stay focused on tasks. So in a minute, I'm just going to come to the 10 things which I recommend I need to do. So I need to think about the question, what is my life's calling or life's program? Am I pursuing it or postponing it to keep the peace? Work on finding a task management or to-do system to help me stay on task. Practice saying no when someone asks me to do something I don't want to do. Be aware of the numbing strategies you use to avoid having to deal with life, whether that's a glass of wine, shopping, or Girl Scout cookies. And definitely would say, in the past when I was at university, I did drink a lot, and it was to kind of, switch off the unhappiness of doing a course I didn't really enjoy. And I can see how unhealthy spending has been one of those things too, and eating too sometimes. It says, don't be afraid to express your opinions. Start with small things and build up to important ones. Resist the urge to fall back on passive-aggressive behaviours like procrastination and avoidance. If you're angry, be honest and open. Understand how important and unique your voice is. People deserve to hear what you think, not have their own views mirrored back to them. Remember, what feels like intense, terrible conflict to you might just be a typical disagreement for someone else. Take a breath and engage. Realise that your tendency to merge with others can be a beautiful gift if directed towards God. Other types envy this spiritual advantage you have, but don't fuse with another person and miss out on the chance to become your own person. And then, when you feel paralysed in the face of a decision, consult someone who won't tell you what to do, but will rather help you tease out what you want to do and then do it. So, these are all big things for me and big challenges, but I realise I'm at the stage now where I'm 41, and if I don't start working on these things, what I'm doing is prioritising short-term peace, as Tom LaHue talks about, and the things that I do to achieve short-term peace, like comfort eating and things like that, are going to end up damaging and destroying my long-term peace, cause health problems, and going to be unhappy because I'm not doing the kind of work I really want to do or was created to do, really. So hopefully this will resonate with some of you and help you. I really would encourage you to try and find out what Enneagram type you are and look at it, try to understand it, and see if you find it helpful like I've done. Okay, thanks. Bye.